Hi, welcome to Coffee Talk Thursday. I am Cecilia Manella, and I hop on here every single week, share some tips and tricks for mental health wellness. Today, I am chatting with all the single people. So if you're out there dating, online dating, not online dating, being single, and looking for a relationship or wanting to date, this Coffee Talk is for you. So what I find with people who are dating is that they go into it without a clear idea of what they're looking for, because what they think they're looking for is really aesthetics. And they haven't really made a really good list about what they're looking for. Now, this isn't about like creating that, perfect list, a perfect partner that's out there and being really unrealistic. What I'm talking about is being able to have a filter system for when you're dating, which I think is really important to have a kind of a system to go through around who meets criteria and who doesn't meet criteria, and what exactly are those criteria that you're using. So my tip that I give to all the singles who are dating is to create a deal makers and deal breakers list. So grab a piece of paper and a pen and think about, what is a deal maker? Like, what is something about someone that would make me so excited to be with them or to date them or be interested in them? And you want to think beyond, again, the simple superficial stuff. We want to be thinking about values. We want to be thinking about what kind of character do they have? How do they treat other people? How do they treat me? And you want the deal makers to have some depth into it. So you could start a little bit, maybe it's a little bit superficial, and kind of at the top end of things, like they're just a kind person. But I want you to dig into more of that, like what does that look like? When somebody's kind and caring, how do they show that? How would you know that? And how does someone express that in a way that you actually will receive it? Now, you want to do the same thing for deal breakers. Now, deal breakers, you want them to think about being really clear boundaries that you're setting around what would make someone not a good match for you. So something would make someone not compatible. So some things like smoking, is that okay or not okay? Don't negotiate on things that you feel that you don't want to negotiate. Oftentimes, especially women, will negotiate on these tiny little things because, well, this is not really what I wanted, but this seems okay. And this is not about being picky, because this list should not be like 1,000 items. It should be like a nice, concise list. But deal breakers are really important because it allows you to think about the things that you're not going to negotiate on. And you don't have to justify that list to anybody. But you need to have that list for yourself. I encourage you to not put things like height, hair color, income, those kind of things in a deal breakers list. I encourage you to think about more lifestyle issues, character things, maybe some triggers from past relationships, whether, selfishness maybe is something that is a trigger for you, to put that on the deal breakers list. So I want you to have these two lists, okay? So once you have these two lists going, and you know these lists, and you can probably recite them because that's how short they are. They don't need to be super long, but they need to be to the point, depth to them about values and characters. I want you then to take this and create some questions. So online dating, which is what everybody's doing right now, especially during the pandemic, so have fun out there, online dating, is that it's all about texting and connecting and having quick chats. And it can get really redundant if you're asking the same questions. And it can get it just takes the fun out of it. But you can create some fun in your dating if you create questions from your deal makers and deal breakers list that would allow you to get to know someone more in depth without asking a direct question. So here's an example of it. If you're looking for someone who's adventurous, because let's say you are really out there all the time, you're constantly outdoors, you're taking, what people would think is kind of risky behavior, maybe because you're out like doing the things, maybe like, I don't know, mountain biking down the mountain, something like that. Clearly, I'm not that adventurous. Instead of asking someone, oh, do you think you're an adventurous person? A better question would be to ask a question around, what is the most adventurous thing you've done in the last 30 days? Or what's the most adventurous thing you've done in the last year? Because that'll give you a story. So you want to be asking people questions when you're dating about stories. Don't ask them a yes or no question. Do you do this? Do you not do this? Ask them to give you a story of something. And what that's going to do is you're going to get a lot of information about that person. You're going to get insights into who they are. And the other person's going to feel like you actually are interested in them, because we all want to feel like someone's interested in us, and we love to tell stories about our lives. And your conversation is going to be richer and it's going to have more depth in it. And that's what you want from online dating. That's what you want around how to get to know someone really quickly, how to dive deep into their character and their values and who they are. And then make a decision whether you're compatible or not. So I hope you have some fun with this. It's a really great exercise, and trust me that it's going to make all the difference in how you date, is having a deal makers, a deal breakers list. And from there, you come up with some really great questions that you can just ask every single person you have interaction with to help filter you around if someone is compatible with you or not. So I hope you found this helpful, and I'll see you next week.